A letter I wrote to my wife who cheated on me with my best friend. I'm not sure if I should send it to her. Stephanie, looking back on our 12 years, it was fun. It was passionate. We traveled to wherever we wanted and enjoyed our times there. We volunteered at the animal shelter and fostered pugs. You were my first love. Although we had good times, we had our problems, too. I had a hard time keeping a job. It's something I'm working on now, but I always provided. I found a way. I drank more than I wanted. I gained weight and was nowhere as near as healthy as you. I'm working on that, too. You've had baggage that bled into our relationship from your family. I was always there for you for that. I even took your sister to rehab a couple of times. I talked you off the ledge when your dad struggled with drinking. I called out your mother when she would try to guilt-trip you for any favor. After I lost my job with my dad, you wanted to work from home, and I was more than happy to help with that. It's how you really got into cycling. We had our arguments and fights, so many fights. You threatening divorce was a common occurrence in our relationship. Please don't do that with your future partner. We had a hard time communicating. I don't talk about my feelings a lot. I'm working on that. You were very emotional. I always told you I had a problem, and I felt that you wore a mask on in public. Nobody wanted you to bring your problems out in the world, but if you're upset, you didn't have to walk around so bubbly. You didn't always have to appear happy. We are human. When I look back on our life together and I think of all of the good times, I can't but help to think you had another mask on. One that was always capable of doing what you did. It hurts because now all of the good times we have had have been reduced to nothing. A wasted decade. Except for one thing. When you gave birth to, it was the happiest day of my life. You were so strong when you gave birth. I'm so thankful you were, or things may have turned out differently. You helped give me a gorgeous son. The happiest baby I have ever seen and the cutest. He's smart and curious and carefree. I hope he stays that way. You said it yourself. This won't define you forever, but it will always be a part of you. It'll always be a part of me. Deep down you know that if you can do what you did to me, you will know that someone else can too. I hope it doesn't haunt you. I hope you don't worry about who he's texting, why he's late, who he's talking to, why he's in a better mood than normal, why he likes a song so much, why he's angry with you more frequently. I hope you never have to experience what I did. It really is the worst thing I've ever experienced. I was always the most trusting of you that I could ever be. Him too. I never applied boundaries to who you could see or talk to. I always, though that was the foundation of a healthy relationship. I would like to say that I wish this never happened, but I'm glad to see what's behind the mask, who you are and what you are truly capable of. I would have hated to live a lie. Believing you were honest, trusting, and that you actually cared about me. I think what hurts the most is that I always thought we were a team, good or bad. At the end of the day, we would never hurt one another. We had our ups and our downs, but I always saw us in this life together. Always there for each other when shit hit the fan. I never thought this is how it would end. You took my wife, you took my friend, you confused our son, you took my house, my neighbors, you abandoned my family, you disappointed yours, you tarnished your reputation, you put a divide between us that didn't need to be there. You took my ability to trust, my ability to see the good in people, you took my life. And for that, I will never forgive you. But I'll build a new life. I'm working on that. Someday we'll figure all of this out on his own. What you did to his father. The man he loves most in this world. You'll still be his mother, but he will know what you're capable of. It won't define you, but it'll be a badge that you'll have to wear forever. Things could have been different. We could have separated like many adults do. Could see his mother and father in an amicable relationship. They could still enjoy each other's company around one another. They could still do things as a family. But you chose the alternative. You took that from him and me. I wanted to write this because I needed to put it down on paper for myself. It is a clear reflection of what I think of all of this. I will always love you because does. But what you did disappointed so many people, including myself. For somebody that always had a good head on her shoulders, you really surprised everyone. I hope in the future you consider others before you do what you want for yourself. You didn't just hurt me. You've hurt yourself, your dad, mother, my family, your friends. I hope you can get back to the happy and caring person you were when we first met. The one who had to cover her eyes when we passed a dog that had been hit by a car on the road. Leave out all the rest. Story 2. I finally moved across the country away from her. It's been a while since I, 27 male, last posted an update on my situation, but I have finally been able to move from Florida to California and start fresh. One of the things I have really been reflecting on is the destructiveness of her 29F infidelity. We had an awesome house in Florida with a dog in a great neighborhood. She decided to blow all of that up, and now she is living in a crappy house that her parents bought her, in a worse area of town and with a much lower quality of life. I am currently living with a roommate in California until I find out what happens with the divorce settlement. I finally realized it wasn't worth discussing the divorce settlement, as she would initially want to come to an agreement, then would back out and decide to trust her lawyer and ask for $120K after being married for 2.5 years. It was all very frustrating and unproductive for me because I was again trying to believe that she was her former loving self, not this vitriolic, deceitful, and lying person. I am now able to spot the lies and manipulation much easier now, but I have realized it isn't worth putting myself in that position anymore. My hope is that we can settle at mediation in December, but I am even skeptical of that coming to a conclusion now. I really appreciate all the help I have received from this group. I never wish what I have had to go through on any person. My STBXW went from an incredible person who I loved deeply to a shadow of her former self, who is a liar, cheater, and very angry person. Unfortunately, the other day one of my friends showed me her Facebook, which I am blocked on, and she has been posting passive-aggressively about emotional abuse and how you just have to leave the relationship when you are being emotionally abused. This is the exact opposite of who I was in our relationship, and it hurt deeply to see that, especially since she never once told me I was emotionally abusive or even communicated that she had any issues with me. I've come to realize that she is rewriting our history to others, all the more reason to go no contact. I wish I never would have seen what she has been posting. It really hurt me deeply, but I won't let it keep affecting me now that I know more about who she truly is. All the times sitting with her when she was emotional over little things and listening to her issues, while trying to calm her down, are now worthless. She never was going to change. She has a personality disorder that will never get better unless she decides to get help. I don't know what the future will bring, but I know this chapter in my life will soon be closed and I can move forward into the next one. If anyone is dealing with someone like this, get out ASAP. They have the emotional maturity of a 4-year-old, project their problems onto you, and are unable to accept the responsibility of their actions. When the snake bites you, you don't keep your hand in the cage. You must come to the realization that the STBXW is mentally ill and things will only get worse in time if she doesn't seek treatment. Her parents aren't helping, and they will soon see the error of their ways when she goes into another manic phase, and you won't be around to place the blame on. I'm glad you are out of state and physically separated from her. Notify your friends that you do not want updates on her life. Not your circus, not your monkeys. If these friends do not accept this, please consider a new friend group. Work with your lawyer to get this resolved as amicably as possible. You need to be free of this mess. $120K for 2.5 years of marriage. Law. Be prepared for her to drag this out. Desperate. Mentally ill people do desperate, crazy things. Wishing you the best.